Welcome to the show. Now please strap in for the truth and remember the words of the great Tom Cruise.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
Now welcome to Off Topic on Porn.
All right. O-Top family, we're back for another episode. I am back from being sick. I am Rob Looper, one of your hosts. It's good to be back with you. And as always, I'm joined by my fellow cohort in O-Top tomfoolery and information, Russell Crew. Russell, how you doing, buddy? Can you hear me, Russell?
Doing well, Rob. How are
Very
you
good.
doing? I trust that you're feeling better. We were
You know what?
worried about you a little
Yeah.
bit there.
I tell you what, the flu is not fun. If you have not had it, I do not recommend you get it. But it is. I'm doing better. Thank you guys for handling it, holding the fort down. But yeah, it was rough there for a little while. At some point, we'll go over the dreams I had that were.
So just scratch it off the bucket list.
Yeah, scratch it off the bucket list. And at some point, we'll go over the dreams that I had.
Yeah.
They were crazy. I'm
doing
telling
it
you,
right now.
they were insane. And we also have with us James, one of our O-Top guys that is with us.
Contributors.
What's up, buddy? James, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going, guys? Nice to be
Good.
on the show.
Hey, good to have you with us as always. So, but yeah, no. At some point, guys, I'll have to tell you, Travis, who can't be with us this evening, but Travis had a fun time while I was sick, because I would call him every once in a while and tell him about the dreams that I had, and my wife would tell me that because of the medicine that I was on, I guess, and also just because of the high fever and delirium, I guess. She's like, "This is why we don't put you on medicine. Your brain needs a governor. Your brain needs to have some type of lucid control." And I'm telling you guys, the dreams that I had, oh geez, it was just, yeah, it would make a good movie, I guess, but it was not fun. So, but no, I'm glad to be better, glad to be on the road to
Yeah.
recovery. And I'll tell you what, though, 2 weeks of being sick is actually 2.5 really is no fun. So anyway, thank you guys for holding
glad
down
you're
the
feeling
fort.
better, buddy.
Yeah, good to be
Yeah,
back.
exactly.
So what did I miss? What's going on? What are we doing here? So are we, what did we talk about last week?
Oh, last week we talked about Greenland, what's going on in Iran and Venezuela. We talked about how these three particular situations are all related. You know, they all deal with President Trump really trying to control some key resources in the world, because people say that's not nice. That's not something that Donald Trump should do.
Right.
Wait a second. Who else is going to control these things? As we
Right.
kind of talked about, it's like,
Ah,
would you rather Russia and China and all these bad actors
nice.
controlling all of your resources and food and oil? I don't think so. I
No,
don't
probably
I
not.
don't trust them.
Well, no, and funny you should mention the Russians, because that's in my dream. The Russians were doing it. The Russians were involved. So it's funny. I don't know what they were involved in, but the Russians were definitely involved. So that's a funny story for later. But that's crazy. So, yeah, that's I tell you what. So, but yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, and you know what's funny, James? You were mentioning all that stuff. As I come back from being sick, I don't even know hardly. Like, I've talked to you guys a little bit. You know, we were talking, and we've talked behind the scenes. You guys are having to catch me up on what's going on in the world, because being sick, man, I'm like, sure, that's going on, great. I don't even know what's going on in the world, because I'm just trying to get better. You know, at one point I slept 22 of 24 hours in a day. I mean, I'm like,
Wow.
whatever, just trying to get. So yeah, you guys have been catching me up on what's going on in the world. So
Yeah.
anyway, it's just been a blast trying to catch up on all the things that have been going on in our house. Our whole family got it, so everybody was sick. I mean, it's just trying to get back to a normal schedule is weird. You know what I mean? It's crazy. So we'll see, But so tonight, what are we? So tonight, I guess we're gonna have a fun kind of it's a serious kind of a topic, but it's kind of a fun one. We thought we just
Yep.
kind of come back, let me ease back in, but kind of a fun topic. So tonight we're going to talk about Christian cussing, which is Tim Hawkins does a fun bit on this, by the way. If you've never seen
Yeah.
it, I highly recommend
Yeah.
it. Well, maybe we'll put it in
Yes,
the
I've
we'll put it
seen
in
it.
the
Yeah.
comments section for you.
Oh
Okay,
yeah,
Tim Hawkins
that'll
is
bless people.
it'll bless people, because
Uh-huh.
Christian cussing by Tim Hawkins. If you haven't seen it, you need to click in the comments. I'll put it there for you. It is phenomenal. He is great. First of all, he's hilarious. Second of all, he does some of the funniest things on that. Oh, Christian cussing. So James, go ahead. Lead us in, buddy.
Okay, yeah. The thing about this topic, and one of the things I was mentioning to the guys, to all the folks in the OTAP world, is that one of the things I've noticed is that a lot of church going, born again, Jesus proclaiming people, they kind of use a lot more profanity than what I remember. I remember, 30, 40 years ago, you didn't cuss around women, around kids, because that was just something you just didn't do in society. People would actually get angry. Hey, watch your mouth, mister. There's kids here. There's women here. Don't cuss around my wife. And nowadays it's like, these younger generations, they don't seem to have a problem with cussing, using foul
No,
language, four-letter words.
Yeah.
they
and
go
name
out
in
of
the
their
name of
way.
religion
Yeah.
in some cases.
Well, and here's the thing, I guess, for me. And Russell, you can kind of comment on this as well. I think what's interesting is this is people kind of have this idea that it's okay, it's just a word, but we don't seem to say, okay, why is this okay? And the offense of the word, first of all, let's just even take it out of let's just even take it out of the church. They've done studies, and James, you know this.
Mhm.
They've done studies, and those the profane words that we're talking about, because like your brain has an actual visceral response to these words. There's levels of visceral response, and we're just okay. We're like, yeah, I mean, it's cool. It's my choice. It's my way. And I'm like, well, wait a minute though. At some point, let's you know. And I heard this one point, and you guys tell me what you think. That when somebody swears at you, that is the sign of a non or a less intelligent mind, because we're not able to formulate thoughts that communicate what we want. We just have to swear at people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're taking up,
There's something to that.
because we're just using four-letter words,
Yeah.
or we're pairing four-letter words together with bigger swear words, because there are bigger swear words than four-letter words. But
Yeah.
we're putting er on the end of it, or ing on the end of it, or attaching
Yeah.
other words in front of it, or something like that. But we're making conjunctions. So let's go back to English class. Conjunctions. Conjunction,
Conjunction.
junction. What? Okay, that's not what we're doing.
Yeah.
We're not going to go back to
Yeah.
school. I was wrong, but you know what I'm
Right.
saying. But to me, I've heard that saying that you know that when you swear, it's the you're showing that you're not being as intelligent as you can be, or as you should be. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's the
Yeah, that's right.
evidence of a smaller mind. And I don't mean to say people who swear are small minded. I'm saying they're being small minded.
Yeah. But I
Well, I
guess
mean, here's where that yeah, I think it's a mistake to just blanket put everybody into the category of ignorant.
No,
However,
yeah, exactly. I agree.
why can't you why can't you articulate your thoughts with actual words? Because there are people that try to argue with me on this, but they're just wrong. Those words have nothing to do with the communication of a message. Those are emotive outbursts.
Yeah,
yeah.
And it's far more efficient to simply say what you use the exact number of words you need to get your point across. Use precisely the words you need to get your point across, and don't add this noise to your statement just because you got a feeling. It shows a lack of self-control, and it adds literally nothing to the actual message.
Well, I think they would say that.
People say, well, yeah, go ahead,
No, I was going to
James.
say, I think for some, the use of cuss words or profanity, they use as intensifiers. You know, bleep in this. I can't believe that.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
want to, I want to express myself in a more angry way.
that's what they think they're doing anyway.
That's
Yeah,
that's the argument. Yeah, and
yeah,
I
but
think.
that's what adjectives and adverbs are for.
Mhm.
They're modifiers that can be used as intensifiers. I mean,
Yeah, exactly. Intensifiers. Yeah, exactly.
and some
But
people, every other word they stick in. The big popular one today is the F bomb. I
yeah,
have not heard so many people who lack self control with this word in my life. than I have in recent years. It's almost like you're it's not true, but some people in some venues think that it's the cool thing to use that
Yeah,
word.
I think it's presented that way. I definitely do because one of the things we talked about prior to uh going live is the passage in the book of James that talks about how
Yeah.
fresh water and salt water can't come from the same spring. So how can blessings and cursing come from the same mouth?
Yeah.
This ought not be, you know. You
Yes,
know,
absolutely.
so this is a problem even
Total
back then.
inconsistency.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2,000 years
So
ago.
this is certainly for professing Christians,
Right.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's one thing for the culture to do this. It's another thing for Christians to just dive in. And I watch a lot of podcasts and I see people that profess to be Christians get really close, really close to it. And I actually see some professing Christians actually go over the edge and just use the terms,
Yeah.
use the words. And there's all kinds of retorts. Well, I don't think that's a cuss word, or um, it's that's a big one there. I don't think that's actually a cuss word. Yeah, well, but here's the thing: if you're presenting a testimony to the world, and there are people in the world who are not believers in Jesus that you're supposed to be a witness to, if they think it is, don't you think you ought to take that into consideration?
Yeah. I hear what you're saying, and I agree with you. I think for some, I think part of the way Christians speak, they speak this way to people in the world because in their mind, well, this is how worldly people speak. So I need to show them some moxie. I need to be just as I guess street or urban. I need to be just as cool as them to
Huh.
have some kind of edginess or credibility in talking with the world.
Yeah, that way. So the way to witness to them is to not show that there's a difference, to show that there's not a difference between you and them.
Yeah, yeah. I think yeah, when you put it that way, it sounds kind of crazy. But I think it's the same impulse in getting Christian tattoos and Christian piercings and Christian, heavy metal
Yeah,
music and
yeah,
things like that.
yeah.
We're cool. We're cool Christians. We like things of the world too. So we want to relate to you and show you that we're just like you, but we're saved. I think that's
Hmm.
part of the thinking
To
among
me, it's
younger
a
people.
to me, it's a common
Yeah.
misinterpretation of to be in the world but not of the world. Well, we're being in it.
Yeah.
We're not being of it because we love the Lord. Well, wait a minute. But if I was to look at you, line you guys all up, listen to you even, and look at you, I can't tell the difference. There's no difference I can tell other than if I get you alone in a room and we start talking, you'll say, "Oh, no, 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 wait, wait, wait. I believe in Jesus." Okay, but when you're out there
Yeah.
and when you're interacting, everything you do, everything you say, everything I mean, the look, the feel, the talk, everything is exactly what the world does. So where does
Yeah.
Jesus fit in? See, and that's
Yep.
the thing. And if you go back and you look at what Jesus did, he was out there. He didn't, it's that old adage. He didn't go in and get drunk with the drunks to witness to him. He waited till they came out of the bar and was like, "Hey, man, what's up?" He talked to them outside, and then he showed them because he was different that he did quite honestly care for them, and he showed them a better way. And he said, "Because I love you, and there is a better way." Perfect example is the woman caught in adultery. He didn't get caught in adultery with her and show her a better way. He met her at the well and said, "Hey, how's it going?" And he had such a powerful interaction with her that she ran and told everybody, "You got to come see this guy who told me everything I've ever done wrong. This is amazing." That's the kind of
Yeah.
interaction, and that's the difference. And I think, we say, well, those people are never going to listen to us. I'm not so sure because, again, if you look at Jesus, you look at Paul, you look at the apostles, they went and talked to people that should never have listened to them either. But it was what was inside them that made them different. And so that's the idea is if we're so different, and you know this, Russell and James, you know this because you guys have read and you know about the different revivals. In fact, it was interesting, Russell, because we're talking about cussing. There were revivals that actually stopped, like back in the, when um, the factory workers, because these people stopped cussing, because their verbiage changed, all of a sudden the revival started going into the factories because people's vernacular changed. They weren't the same. They stopped what they were doing. You know what I'm saying? Because there was such a change inside of them because they were so different. Everybody's like, "What happened to you? I got what happened? You're not talking. What is wrong with you? Oh, well, you asked. I'm gonna tell you. Let me just tell you what happened last night. And then that shift would go, and then they'd get saved. I mean, just whole factories were getting saved in revivals in the like the Azusa Street revival. You know what I'm saying? It was
Well,
so.
I wouldn't use that as an example.
Or which one?
I would not use that one as an
Not the
example.
Azusa.
Sorry,
There's
brother.
no, I'm no, but there's another one
But
too. But you know what I'm talking about? The oh, which one? It was. I'm trying to think of which one it was. But it was one where they were getting the factory workers, and I can't remember the name escapes me. But they were getting the factory workers, and it was way back. And I think it was. I want to think it was in England. I'm trying to figure out remember which one it was. But anyway, and they would just come and their everything about what was going on was changing them, and it changed the way that they talked and and interacted with each other, and it would just be like shifts of people. I'll have to go look, but it was interesting the way that it was happening, and it was just even the way they talked. And I remember reading about it. I can't remember which one it was, but yeah,
um, but Rob,
yes,
aren't we supposed to be all things to all men that we might by all means save some?
sure, if that's what that meant, I guess, yeah, you know what I mean.
So if I got to be a cusser to lead someone to Jesus, I've actually heard people make that argument.
Yeah, there are people who do say
Shouldn't they
those
interpret
things.
that scripture
Yeah.
correctly then?
Well, people like to interpret scripture a lot of times around their personal preferences.
Right,
Sure,
And then when you
exactly.
call them on it, then they say you're the one doing it.
Right.
right. But you and I both know, and James, you know, that's not what that scripture's talking about. So that's the
Right.
problem.
No, it's not.
Right. Because, like you mentioned, because Jesus never committed a sin to reach sinful
No,
people,
he didn't.
That's right.
and
It's
he
never
still, and guess
right.
what? He was able to bring in multitudes of people.
Oh, sure.
You know,
Throngs.
so
I
you
mean, at
don't
times.
have to be edgy and cool and have this awesome testimony. I used to kill people.
Yeah.
And I used to worship the devil, and they got saved. It's like, wow, what an awesome testimony.
And it
You
is
just can't
great that
convey it.
people
That's boring.
that the Lord doesn't give up on people. That's phenomenal that he does that. Jesus
Yeah.
never had to worship the devil to get people to go so he could tell them about his awesome testimony
Yeah, exactly.
of redemption. Now,
Yeah,
granted, it's awesome that Jesus reaches into the depths and saves us. We all have testimonies of being lost and then found. Phenomenal.
yeah,
Right.
But once you're found, we don't have to go back and go, now I need to go curse and swear. I need to go drink. I need to go whatever so that I can win those people. You know what
yeah,
you know, and that's the idea. It should be the light inside of us that draws
yeah,
the difference from what we used to be. You know, the new, the old made new. But
yeah,
yeah,
exactly. The new man.
the new man, right? Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So,
Some people won't like the source, I think, of this particular quote. I remember hearing it and I just looked up who it was. Um, Dr. Bob Jones Sr., who is the founder of Bob Jones University in South Carolina and in Greenville. You know, James, the real Greenville, not
Oh
the
yeah.
one here in Texas.
Yeah, right.
Uh, and he said it's never right to do wrong to do right.
Mm,
So if it's wrong to use a certain kind of language, you probably are not justified using it if you think, well, if I use it, then somebody will maybe come to Jesus.
yeah,
Certainly, the Lord will provide a way that doesn't necessitate that.
yeah, yeah.
But here's the thing. Oh, go ahead, James. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, yeah, I think I mean, I think you have a whole seeker movement church or seeker sensitive churches that specifically they have pastors that wear skinny jeans and pastors that have long beards and smoke cigars and smoke pipes and all these cultural connections to the to young hip people,
Yeah.
and they're trying to reach lost people from the culture by being worldly. So we see that as well. I remember Christians didn't used to have tattoos, but now every Christian has a tattoo
Yeah. And they're Christian
nowadays.
tattoos, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And if you have them, you have them. But there was a time when things like tattoos and piercings weren't um, something you did as a Christian. Something you did maybe before you're a Christian, but not after Christians. After you became a Christian.
Yeah. No, you're right. And so that's, I'm trying to think. There's actually tattoos I've seen where people are putting scripture references and stuff like that
Yeah,
where you can see them, right?
yeah, exactly.
Hey, just so you know, I was talking about the revival I was talking about was the Welsh revival in 1904 and
There you go.
1905. Sorry.
Okay.
That's the one I was talking about. I just wanted to make sure that people didn't think I was making it up. 1904 to 1905
No,
Welsh revival.
we didn't think that.
Yeah, you could have just dropped it in the comments too.
Yeah, that's true. But it's the Welsh
You couldn't-
revival. So
Yeah, give them something they want.
there you go. But anyway,
That's what we do at OTOP.
that's what we
We give
do.
people-
That's
Give
right.
people what we want.
Give them what they want. So, but we're about at time, gentlemen. Any final comments?
No, I think that for me, that's pretty much blankety blank it.
Blankety blank, yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll do the
Blankety
Porky
blank,
Pig.
next week.
But that's all, folks, right? No, but gentlemen, as always, it's a pleasure. And look, we'll sign off with this. Our standard line to all our OTOP family. Look, first of all, give us a like, give us a share. It helps with the algorithm. Invite somebody into the OTOP family. If you have anything, we'd love to hear from you. Put it in the comments, or you can email us at otopnow@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. And remember, you don't always have to stay on topic. You can be off topic, but you must always be on point. We will see you next time, and thank you for
So
listening.
are we not going to do mountain mowers?
Not this week because again,
Oh,
he's on
man.
vacation. We'll get mountain mowers next week. So I talked to
Sorry,
him. It's fine.
to interrupt you, brother.
No, that's fine. Well, we will see everybody on the next episode of Off Topic on Point, and we will look forward to hearing from you in the comments and hearing from you on our email. And we will see you on the next episode. Russell, James, as always, gentlemen, it is good to be with you, and we will see you guys on the next episode. Good night, everybody.
Thank you for listening today to Off Topic on Point. We want to remind you of our email address if you'd like to contact us. It's otopnow@gmail.com. That's otopnow@gmail.com. And as always, we want to leave you with this. It's okay to be off topic. Just make sure you're always on point. All right, we'll catch you on the next episode. Bye-bye.